Hey, it's T Rob here with the BizPulse. And today we're going to be talking about should my business accept crypto? And that is a big discussion all over the world, really. But I wanted to touch base with you today and just kind of talk you through some of the pros and cons of doing that as a small business. Um, so let's get started here. First off, is cryptocurrency obviously is really hot these days. With the wild prices that are all over the place, it's every day you're just like, what's going on? But the truth be told is this medium of exchange is over 10 years old now, and it's really finally working itself to mainstream, which is good for not good for small businesses and consumers as well. But really, cryptocurrency is being actively traded, 24/7 now, and more than 30% of U.S. small businesses now accept crypto as a payment method. But is cryptocurrency really right for your small business? And that's something you'll have to ask yourself after we go over this. There's several considerations to take into account, both, the technical side and maybe the pragmatic side of it before deciding if you're going to take crypto or not. So let's look at that, in detail. First off, let's start with what is cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is a digital medium of exchange that relies on a peer-to-peer blockchain technology. So it's really decentralized in its nature for the most part. We can get into that in another video, but in other words, no central bank or government regulates it. Buyers transfer funds directly to sellers without any third party, like traditional uses to process payments, such as like a credit card processor. Okay. Um, excuse me. Cryptocurrency cut out the middleman in transactions, which is a big deal. That's something that a lot of us were looking for at the time, and still today we're still trying to get rid of the middleman, right? Um, so what we're looking at is, with small businesses, rather than store your money somewhere where you're dependent on it, like an organization like a bank or something like that, you hold it through an encryption, and you have the key. So you're the only one that can unlock that to get to it. So it's really a lot harder for people to breach and to get to your money. So um, some of the reasons small businesses might choose to accept the cryptocurrency is because it's in the forefront. Like right now, everything you talk about is crypto, and that's probably a really good thing for maybe sales. And we'll talk about that a little more as we get in this video. But also with the encryption, it really helps with fraud. That really cuts down small business fraud for sure. So let's look at benefits. Like compared to traditional point of sale systems, cryptocurrency really offers several primary benefits that you may want to consider. Lower, number one, lower transaction fees. I mean, the lack of like a central uh, hub that's adding all these fees on, you're really getting a lower processing fee. Typically, if I take a payment from you as a business owner, I'm getting charged, a fee, 25 cents, 50 cents, whatever, and then 2 to 4 cents of that transaction fee is going back to the credit card processor. If I take cryptocurrency, that is really dramatically dropped. Typically it's 1% or less. So it really helps. The other thing on the merchant side is protection. Crypto's decentralized setup also protects merchants from fraud, and we talked about that earlier. Like for chargebacks, so the transactions like cash are final because no third party can reverse charges. So it really protects and helps businesses against fraud. Um, Increased sales, which I mentioned earlier as well. Crypto enables small businesses to expand and open their doors to international buyers who previously um, it would be almost impossible to transact internationally. Not impossible, but it was very hard and very, very expensive. Okay, so I was reading online and I saw it was a small electronic supplier, retailer. Um, sold like 300,000 worth of merchandise to nearly 40 countries just by starting to take cryptocurrency. So definitely opening doors to international business. The convenience of it, convenience for customers. Taking cryptocurrency offers another a customer additional way to pay, and some customers like this because they don't want their identity shared as well. So it's really protective for not only you and I as a business owner, but also on the consumer side as well. So let's talk about the risk now. Okay, so there is risk. We talked about the benefits. Let's talk about the risk. Uh, um, Technical barriers. I mean, everyone talks about that. Like technically, it's still very hard to transact, right? So, it requires a digital wallet, and this could be really technical for people to number one, teach them how to even get a decentralized wallet, which we'll get into that more in other videos. But um, which could lead, small business owners as well have challenges of not being familiar on how to transact with cryptocurrency. So um, there is a relatively a steep learning curve for people that have not been involved in cryptocurrency. So, um, let's see. And then next up, we talked about that was just technical barriers. So the transacting, how do you do it? How does it work? Um, the cryptocurrency price, the up and downs. Though that's a big one. So digital currency highest risk is price, right? Which makes it value extremely unpredictable, right? So, for example, Bitcoin in 2009, I think it was, you could buy it for pennies, and then in I believe it was 2021 rose to $65,000. So that just shows you where it's at. So um, this you will make some form of arrangement for translating your cryptocurrency back into currency, right? You have to do that, but with the prices being up and down, how does that work? So for instance, if I'm a business and I sell you something and it's $20 and you send me $20, whatever, in cryptocurrency, when I go to turn that into fiat into US dollar, what's the value of that? See, so it could be way lower, or the other thing, and this is probably a pro, it could be higher. So that's the other thing to look at. So what a lot of small businesses do is they're using merchant service companies such as BitPay or Coinbase. Um, so what this does is it helps them with exchanging digital currency into cash value, and they can do that basically automatically, right? So through those services, it really cuts down, number one, the thing we talked about earlier, the technical side of it, and it makes it a little bit easier. And it also probably helps you, keep your value of what you're, the cryptocurrency that you're utilizing. And really, the only reason why a business would hold on to cryptocurrency would maybe be like a speculative type investment or something like that. That's the only thing. I wouldn't recommend gambling with your revenue stream. So definitely watch that if you're taking that, get that into cash and get it into your bank account or whatever. Security, cryptocurrency security is one that you see everywhere, and people get scared of cryptocurrency because they see the worst of it. But although like cryptocurrency transactions eliminate cyber threats like credit cards, but it's still not 100% safe. And so far, there's really no way to completely prevent cyber criminals. Although what typically happens is people lose their keys to their wallet and someone else gets it. And that's how a lot of this happens. It's not something where they hack the blockchain or something like that and get your money. So it's definitely a lot more secure. Um, I know Coinbase, for example, holds less than like 2% of customers' digital currency. So that they do that because if there's a breach, the company, says they fully insure the loss. And they're actually FDIC um, um, backed, which would cover up to like 250,000. Now, keep in mind, that does not cover you if your personal wallet is hacked, which I don't know the percentage, but I would say 95% of it is probably personal wallets get hacked by people doing dumb stuff. Just being honest with you. So um, companies are also working on different solutions to address wallet security. So you'll see a lot of different things coming out, and we can talk about wallets. If you have questions about wallets, I'm more than happy to help you or talk to you or point you in the right direction. So I think what we're going to see really soon is more of a facial recognition type thing, which is, from my understanding, I'm not a security expert, makes it extremely hard for somebody to hack a wallet with a facial ID security setup. So um, a big one, regulatory uncertainty is one that's all over the place right now. You probably see it. So what that looks like is, who knows? I mean, in the near future, lawmakers are currently crafting all these different regulations to try to govern. So once regulations are in place, they will likely, evolve further, and meaning business owners will have to adopt. You know, um, Really, cryptocurrency is still relatively new. There's still a lot of uncertainty around how the government's going to work with it and how the kinks are going to work out. If people are still thinking the government's not going to get involved, they're crazy. They're already involved. So that'll be a big thing, is how all this works out with the regulations and what's going to come down the pipeline of how businesses have to do certain things with cryptocurrency to take that. But I can tell you this: if we keep our decentralized side, you can still take your payments or whatever on a decentralized system, and really that cuts out the government, honestly, and the middleman. Um, so let's talk about this. We've talked about all the different stuff, benefits, risk, security. So how do you take cryptocurrency? Like, okay, I want to sell this hat. How do I accept cryptocurrency? So um, first, you'll decide whether you want to use a processor to accept the payments, or you want to accept them, take them manually. So using a processor will simplify the process big time, right? It'll, they just go to whatever the processor is, a third party, and do the process there, and then it's sent to you and you convert it, etc. But what you can do is you can take payments manually. So with this process, it's a bit more complicated. But first, you just create like an account on an exchange, on a crypto exchange, so that customers can have somewhere to send you payments, and then you would add that functionality to your website, or give them a QR code or something like that. So, excuse me. And then finally, after you do take the payment, you're going to have to take steps to withdraw your crypto from your exchange account. So either by moving it to like a digital wallet, or exchanging it for dollars and transferring it to funds in your bank. That's up to you. I mean, you can do anything you want with it. That's the great thing about cryptocurrency. So we did cover a lot in this. I hope that helps you in decision if my business should take cryptocurrency. My personal opinion is you definitely need to. It's what the world's coming to. I see it more and more every day, of people selling through cryptocurrency, um, people buying via cryptocurrency. So my push to you as a small business is, get on the train because it's moving forward, and you might as well learn it now and enjoy what you're selling, what your service is, or whatever. And I really think with things I've read and researched, is it will open a lot more doors for you, excuse me, that you can sell more, especially on the international market. We talked about that earlier, but it's a big connection of transaction fees are so much less and so much easier. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.